Alright everyone, and welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new here. I'm Christina, aka That Variety Nerd, and today we are finally back with some WWE 2K24 content. It has been a minute. I think our last 2K episode or video in any shape or form was like back in probably June. My Xbox said that it's been a hot minute too since we've loaded up the game. And yeah, we basically lost any and all motivation during the summertime. And yeah, that's pretty much that's pretty much what happened. I'm gonna be 100% honest with y'all. But we are back. It is DLC day, and what better way than to celebrate DLC day than with a fresh start with my GM, with our guy Jason Frost. He was our men's My Rise character for this year's game, and I really like the dude. So let's keep things moving along here. We could have continued technically in the last save file because we were only like 5 episodes deep, but like I felt like a fresh start was probably much needed since it's been a minute, right? We will be doing a universe mode series with Christina Bennett and see what shenanigans she gets up to. So there's that. So we'll be doing my gym, we'll be doing universe mode, kind of going through that superstar mode more than likely. That could get interesting. But we'll see what happens. We'll do universe mode with Christina Bennett, and we'll do Jason Frost with my GM. I don't know how long this is going to be, but I'm going to try to do like one episode per week of each series. That way we're back to our 3 videos a week situation. So, that being said, we've got the draft coming up right here. Again, Jason Frost, our guy, he's running Raw. William Regal's over on NXT. Paul Heyman's on ECW. And we've got Teddy Long over on SmackDown. So this could get very interesting. So, on that note, grab your snacks, grab your choice of beverage, get comfy and cozy. Make sure to hit that subscribe button too, by the way. And hit the bell button to get notifications around here and that sort of thing. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it, people. Alright, so we're going to do it on normal difficulty because, to be honest, there's no need for us to go on to easy mode or hard mode or extreme mode. Like, we just don't need that energy. We just don't. I'm going to bump up the budget to $3 million per show because that's just how we operate around here. And I think we're going to keep everything else the same. So, yeah. Let's get to it, people. Season 1! Let's get to. Okay, each GM will start with a budget of $3 million. The GMs will take turns drafting one after the other. There will be 9 rounds of drafting. After the 9th round, drafting becomes optional. GMs can opt out or draft until they are out of cash. And that's pretty much all we got here. So, they're giving us a little tip, which is great. Oh. What reward points did I earn, Microsoft? I'm so confused. They're like, you're finally back. Here's some points. Okay, so we got the first pick here. Let's get the tribal chief. I mean, it's Roman Reigns. Let's get our original tribal chief on the show. We need him.
Raw drafts, Roman Reigns.
All right, NXT gets AJ Styles. Becky Lynch. Nope, Kevin Owens. I'm like, no, it's hovering over Becky Lynch. SmackDown gets Finn Balor. Okay, so we need somebody on the women's side of things. Well, we've got Asuka, we've got Charlotte. Where's everybody else over here? Post Malone! Oh my god, he's only $11,000. Could you imagine? I mean, we had MGK as our IC champion at one point. I think it was like 2 years ago or something. It was something stupid. If we have Roman Reigns, I think we should probably get Seth freaking Rollins.
Raw picks, Seth freaking Rollins.
Have them both on the same show. NXT gets Charlotte Flair. ECW gets Asuka. And then Rhea Ripley's going over to SmackDown. That makes sense to me. Okay, I think let's get our first woman on the board. And yeah, I think the best pick, let's go ahead and go with Becky Lynch.
Raw chooses Becky Lynch.
Scarlett's going over to NXT. Damian Priest going over to ECW. Oh my god, Carlito's on the board somewhere. Okay, what is this going to SmackDown? No, we're not picking Logan Paul. We're not doing it. He's destroying Lunchables right now. That's what he's up to. Why is Carlito so expensive? You know what? Let's get Kairi Sane. I think you know what? This makes sense. We got to show off some DLC. And honestly, why wouldn't you want to have Kairi on your roster?
Raw selects Kairi Sane.
Alrighty, Bray Wyatt going over to NXT. Shayna Baszler going to ECW. Okay, that makes sense. Nikki Cross going over to SmackDown. Alrighty. Okay, so somebody else from DLC is going to be Nia Jax. It's like, can you build up the men's side of things too? And we're gonna get there. But I think let's get Nia Jax. Then we can easily get one more person on the women's side of things and then kind of circle back to the men's side of things. I know we're doing this in reverse order, but DLC.
Raw chooses Nia Jax.
Alright, MVP's going over to NXT. Bobby Roode's going over to ECW, and then Johnny Gargano's going over to SmackDown. Okay. Just because he's only... he only has one popularity, that's why he's 11,000. Oh my god. Oh, that's funny. You know what? I think let's go with The Miz. I think we need another, top tier talent, right? And, well, The Miz fits the card perfectly. And it's The Miz. You can throw him anywhere on the card, and he'll make it work.
Raw picks The Miz.
Alrighty. Angel Garza going over to NXT. Got Braun Breaker going to ECW. Okay. This is solid. Braun Strowman going over to SmackDown. And it's back to us. It's anticlimactic. I'm like, what is happening here? So we need... Well, The Miz is a bad guy in the game, so we need another good guy somewhere on the men's side of things. I mean, this makes sense. Let's get Randy on board, because it's Randy.
Raw drafts Randy Orton.
Alright, Josh Briggs is going over to NXT. Akira Tozawa is going over to ECW. JD McDonough is going over to SmackDown, and it's back to us. Alrighty. I think we need to focus on some of the pet projects, right? Because it's like we also have Carlito still on the board for DLC, which would be funny. But I think like just kind of focusing on like just getting more people on the roster is where we need to be right now. And we only have a little under $900,000. So I think what we need to do, we need to get another good guy on the roster. We need it for the women's side of things. So let's see what we got here. We have a ton of options, which is great. We've got Zelina, we got Liv. I'm actually kind of on board with this, going with Thea Hale. To be honest, I'm on board with it.
Raw chooses Thea Hale.
Yes, we got to get our homegrown talent. We got Liv Morgan going to NXT. Zelina Vega. Oh, I was going to pick her next. We got Candice LeRae going over to SmackDown now. So they're recommending us to either get Uncle Howdy, Wesley Fella. What kind of a show is this turning into? I'm here for it. Actually, it's really not a bad roster when you kind of take a look at it, right? You're getting a good mixture of people. I mean, I'm not opposed to us getting Trick on the roster. So yeah, I'm all for getting Trick on the roster.
Raw selects Trick Williams.
I'm on board with it. Alright, Piper Niven going over to NXT. Indy Hartwell going over to ECW. Isla Dawn going over to SmackDown. Carlito still on the board. Okay, I am actually okay with this. Yeah, let's get Bronson Reed on here. Let's get our guy on here.
Bronson Reed.
Y'all have been watching Raw, right? Like IRL with Braun and Bronson. Holy cow, that's been nuts. Okay, we've got Tiffany going to NXT, Tommaso going to ECW, and Montez Ford going to SmackDown. Alrighty, so let's see what we can do here. Okay, I think if we get two more dudes, we should be good to go. Part of me wants to put Post Malone as like a homegrown talent on the roster. Sounds so ridiculous. It's like, well, Christina, what are you doing? Well, I think we need a little bit of variety on the board a little bit. Like, we need probably like a cruiserweight or something on the men's side of things. Well, I mean, I think we could focus it on the women's side of things too, because I mean, we've got a lot more wiggle room with the women's side on the budget. Okay, so I think we're gonna go ahead and go with let's go JC Jane for the women's side of things.
Raw drafts JC Jane.
We're focusing on the up and coming talent at this point, okay? Ludwig is going to NXT, Blair's going to ECW. Ivar is going to SmackDown, and then we've got a good amount of people that we've got on the board that we could roll with, which is great. Get another specialist. That might work too. Yeah, I mean, it's recommending us with Raquel, Gigi, and Maxine, and Ivy. So I think, the more specialists we have, the better, because we're kind of across the board, right? So, yeah, I mean, we definitely need to get a specialist on the women's side of things, but obviously we can't afford it right now. And we can always turn people face and all that stuff in a little bit too. But I think we could go with either Zoe or Gigi. I think that would make a lot of sense. I mean, they're both pretty similar. So, I mean, they're both faces, they're both specialists. So yeah, I think that makes sense. So let's do it.
Raw picks, Gigi Dolan.
There's Gigi. Zoe's going to NXT. I knew she was going to get picked up soon. We got to get Post Malone. He's only $11,000. He's our pet project. Oh my god, we need to do it. We absolutely need to do it. Plus, we got wiggle room for at least one more person on this roster, I think, right? Because, I mean, that would bring us down to $160,000. And, I mean, we don't have much wiggle room, but we could get somebody on the board, right? Right? Let's go with Post Malone. Because reasons.
Raw chooses
Yes!
Malone.
I love this game so much. Alright, ECW is off the table, which is great. Gunther's going over there. SmackDown's got their roster. So it is down to us. Yay. Okay. So we need one more person on the men's side of things. We only have $166,000 to work with. But I think let's get Noam Dar, because just, I don't know, that makes sense to me. Just getting somebody different on the roster. We're going to be broke. It's fine. Yes! I mean, our roster isn't too bad. I think it's well-rounded. We've got a lot of different characters. We got a lot of different styles going on here. And I think we at least have, like, a well-rounded roster. Alrighty, NXT's done now. But, I mean, realistically speaking, we've got the people. We've got the roster. We have the largest roster. I mean, to be fair, Post Malone was only $11,000, but shh. But I mean, when you take a look at our roster, I think we have a little bit of everything. We have the star power right there, with Roman, Seth, Becky, and Randy. Miz has been around for quite some time too, so he adds to that star power. Bronson Reed, I mean, why would you not want that dude on your roster? And then, of course, we've got Noam Dar to kind of, freshen things up with some styles. Of course, we've got Trick and Post Malone at the very bottom, two people that we could really, be like our up-and-coming talents, right? Then on the women's side of things, we've got Becky Lynch, bringing again the star power. We got Nia Jax. We've got Gigi Dolan. We've got Kyrie. We've got JC. And we've got Thea Hale. So lots of up-and-coming talent on the women's side of things, too. More so than the men's side of things, I think. But I think it's going to turn out to be a decent little show. I'm looking forward to it. Alrighty, WWE Hall of Fame. To enter the Hall of Fame and prove you are the best, be the first GM to own 10 Hall of Fame trophies at the end of a season. Ties are broken by most fans, then most cash. Trophies can be awarded through either career achievements or seasonal challenges. Entering the Hall of Fame will allow you to continue playing or retire your save file. Hey, Cleveland! If you're new to the channel, I'm originally from Cleveland, but I live in the Cincinnati area now. Triple H. Frost, good to talk to you. Just checking in to make sure Raw is ready for the new season. Can't wait to get started. We're going to storm this. Good, I'm expecting big things of Raw this season. Make it an amazing show. Thanks, Trips. Teddy Long. Hold on just a minute, playa. How's the prep going, Frost? Can't wait to see the battle between SmackDown and Raw this year. We think we have the advantage now that we've inked the contract with Finn Balor, but okay, thanks, Teddy. I appreciate that. I'm like, we got the original tribal chief over here. We're more than ready to go. Hey, Jason, I just wanted to let you know that I plan on taking ECW to the top. I have the roster and the show rating capabilities to do it. I don't think Raw stands a chance. I mean, you've got Kevin Owens, awesome, but I mean, we've got a heck of a roster on our own side, right? So I don't typically put the titles on people right out of the gate just because I like to have the first couple of weeks or so to decide the titles and have all the title matches on the show. So that's my luck. So we're gonna go ahead and confirm our selections. We've got contract negotiation too. Okay, cool. Love that for us. We got $4,000 to book a show. I love this for all of us. Have at least one Extreme Rules match this week. The season challenges. So I like to pursue these as we are going through each season. So book 10. Okay, that's doable. I don't know. That's probably going to be doable. Rags to riches. Jesus. Whenever I hear rags to riches, I think of The Sims, and then I just get sad because it's just The Sims. Book 10 shows with interference. Complete 5 trades. Resolve 5. Okay. This is all reasonable. Okay. We can totally do it. We could totally do this. So, usually for the first episode, we'll go through, booking a week or two of matches. But I think we might try to get a match or two in this episode and just focus on week 1. Then for next episode, we'll do, weeks 2, 3, and 4 together. and then like after that we'll kind of jump to the PLE, play a couple matches there. Then I like to do like 4 weeks at a time, and we watch a couple matches. I found that that structure works best because you get a little bit of a longer episode, and then it's like you kind of break things up a little bit too. So we'll just do week one. We'll watch a match or two, I think, and we'll kind of go from there and just have a good time. So I'm going to go ahead and book the show, and we'll be back, and we'll probably watch at least one match before we're out of here tonight. Here we go, people, live from the gym in Cleveland, Ohio. Actually, I remember back in the day when I was like in high school, I think, some of my first independent shows were actually at gyms up in Cleveland. So, I mean, it's not a far stretch.
The following contest is a triple threat match, and it's for the WWE Women's World Championship. Making her way to the ring from Dublin, Ireland, Becky Lynch.
Okay, I don't know why Becky is doing the entrance like that, but here we are. Did my save file get all screwed up? I don't know. Well, I'm assuming that's how it is. Something is definitely weird to me. I mean, we've always joked about it over here, but it's kind of like, would it really be that Variety Nerd 2K24 video if something doesn't, if something just flat out works, right? Like, something's always just not working. And by the way, the music is off because every time I try to post one of these videos, it's just like, oh, okay, cool. We're just gonna go ahead and, like, copyright claim your music. But here's Nia Jax.
First, from San Diego, California, Nia Jax.
She's looking fabulous. We are here for it. She's got great gear for her model, too, which always is like... I always love to see... the part that I get excited about when it comes to the new game is, like, how the entrances look and what gear everybody's wearing. Because it's always kind of fun to kind of see, like, ooh, okay, they got this from SummerSlam, they got this from Mania, whatever, right? Those are the two things that I'm most excited about. And if there's, like, any new additions to the roster, any updates to the models and stuff, that sort of thing. But yeah, if you're new around here and this is your first video, we just sit here and chit-chat about life, 2K20 shenanigans, 2K24 shenanigans. Oh god, I just put 2K20 to the universe again. My bad.
From Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Thea.
So that's all exciting and fun. Yeah, so we kind of just treat this like a little podcast without it being a podcast. See, I tried a podcast like about 3 years ago, and honestly, I got bored with it. I don't know how the podcast people do it. I mean, I feel like if you have a co-host, it's a different story, right? But it's like I feel like everybody has a podcast at this point, and I don't know. I feel better just being in my wheelhouse over here, just having a laugh on my couch, which, by the way, I gotta tell you all about this weird setup that we have right now for the time being. So, I don't know if I've shared this on the channel or not. I think I have, and you've probably figured it out by this point. If I have, well, I've shared it, like, in videos and stuff, but I got a new computer. Oh, man, we got a huge Becky chant from the crowd. You'll love to hear it. We're gonna be crowning our first ever Women's World Champion here tonight. We'll go through the results, set up next week's episode, and then we'll close out the video for y'all. So that's the direction. But yeah, basically I got a new computer last month because the computer that I'm recording on, she doesn't need to leave the house. We'll put it that way. And it was just getting very tiresome just to like have my video edits just freeze up every 5 seconds. It was bad. Like I couldn't do basic browsing. And I'm like, okay, yeah, it's been a few years since I've got a new computer. It's probably time to upgrade it. So that's what we got going on here. So I'm recording this on my old computer because, again, my new computer, I got a MacBook, so I don't know how recording would actually work. I'm probably due for a new capture card at some point because it's been a minute, we'll put it that way. And basically, I'm trying to just record my gaming content, like, on the old computer, and then just, like, edit the videos on the new computer for the time being. Because, like, I can still record pretty decently on this thing, right? Like, it's pretty smooth. It's still at least in, like, 720p, which is okay, right? But obviously, this is not like a long-term solution, right? So that's kind of my thoughts, right? So I'm like, okay, well, I can just bring this computer out because I have a laptop that I've been recording on for the last few years or so. So I just will bring out the laptop. I'll pre-record a lot of the gaming content. And so the gaming content is going to be more of that pre-recorded content. We'll do like one video per series each week, I think. We're going to at least do MyGM this week because I don't know how we're going to do it for universe mode necessarily. But I'll play around with it, see what happens. And so, yeah, that's... Whew, my apologies. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. So I will need to also pre-record a lot of videos. I have a lot coming up from like mid-October to like probably mid-November. So I'll be pre-recording a lot of content, rest of this month and kind of into early part of next month. So the gaming content, there might be some weeks where there's more, there might be some weeks where it's less, but I'm going to try to do at least one MyGM and one Universe Mode episode per week. Again, the Universe Mode series is going to focus on our other MyRise character, Christina Bennett, and all of her shenanigans, because Lord knows that MyRise was not focused at all. And basically, like, what I want for the women's MyRise next year is basically Jason's story, the men's MyRise story, but for the women's division. Like, not to the T, of course, but, like, I just think it'd be kind of cool to go through it as, like, a women's champion. Or even, like, have a tag team career mode. That would be kind of interesting. Naturally, more intermingling, between, like, the men and women. I think that could be kind of fun, but... Because, I mean, like, it's happening on the stories every week, right? Like, you have, like, the LWO, the Judgment Day, right? Like, all these different groups that have, like, both men and women in there. So it makes sense. American made, right? Like, it makes sense. I feel like next year they might lean into the factions a little bit more, and if that's the case, they're going to be obnoxious about my faction. But yeah, I have not fired up this game since I think my last video, so it's been a minute since we played through the game in any shape or form. So I'm like, if I can at least get MyGM out this week, that would be ideal. That would be perfect. Because I need some practice. I need some practice, y'all. I did get a new gaming headset for like my off-screen gameplay, which I'm going to be leaning into a little bit because I need to be prepared. Ooh. And, well, it's going to be the perfect week for me to film, like, or at least the weekend, rather, because it's going to be back into the 90s this weekend, and that's just, I'm tired of it. So I need to have something to keep my mind occupied. I'm working on some compilations for the reactions. Yeah, I'm working on some reaction compilations as we kind of close out the year. I started downloading the clips last night, so that's exciting. We've got a submission hold locked in there. Thea Hale breaks things up there and gets out of the hole. Again, if you're new here, this is exactly how we just chit-chat. We just chit-chat while watching the matches. We go through the modes. It's a good time. Like, we don't take this seriously. I mean, how can you? Nia Jax just threw a kendo stick at Becky Lynch right there. But yeah, that's kind of where things are moving along. So again, I want to get back to that 3 video a week threshold that I liked being at for some time. We're going to have a lot more reactions coming around the corner because Monday Night Raw is going to 2 hours. We got, the 2-week debut on the CW with NXT. So we'll be covering those 2. We got Bad Blood coming up. God, there's so much coming up. Yeah. That's kind of what's happening. We'll have the CW debut week, so October 1st and 8th reactions for NXT. Then, of course, Raw's going to 2 hours. I think starting, what was that, like October something. I know it's sometime next month. Let me see here. Let me see here. What day does it start? Okay, oh, Jesus, seriously? October 7th. Okay. Well, that's fine. Oh my God, that's gonna be such a busy week. Oh my God, yep, that's it. We're pre-recording for a few weeks there. So that first week of October will be literally just reaction on the first, couple gaming videos probably somewhere in there. We usually don't do the SmackDown before the PLE, and because SmackDown's got some sort of matches so far on the card, we might watch it, we might not. We'll have to see what the cards we'll see what the show looks like. And then Bad Blood too. Oh, there's Mr. Dark Screen. Where'd you go, controller? It's all dark in my living room. So we'll do Bad Blood, and then we'll start Monday Night Raw reactions for a little bit. I will have to miss a couple weeks of reactions in October just because I have so much going on in October and into early November a little bit. So there will probably be some more gaming content in the second half of the month, but I wanted to give you all a little bit of a heads up. So lots happening here. We're thinking ahead for once. I'm like, God, I have to get an actual calendar or something to keep track of everything, but it's like, no, I think we're good. But I do have a calendar that I keep track of on my phone of like when all the reactions are going to be. So, I mean, there's that. I think, yeah, if NXT has anything else in terms of PLEs, we'll watch them. 'Cause I've had a blast watching NXT this year. I don't know about y'all, but I've had a blast. Is it a little over the top at times? Sure, but like I just have fun watching it. I just have a good time. I just sit here on my couch after a long day at work, and I just sort of sit here and chill, have a good time watching NXT, all that good stuff. So, I swear, when we go to Monday Night Raw reactions, it's literally going to be me yelling at, like, Dom and being so fed up with the Judgment Day every 5 seconds. It's going to get to almost Logan Paul levels, and yeah. I said almost, not quite at those levels, but it's probably going to be more like being fed up with the Judgment Day shenanigans levels, if anything. Because, you know, that's what's going to happen. You know it. I know it. You know it. We all know it. But I have compilations in the works. We're working on an updated certain former U.S. champions' disastrous title reign. Because we need to finish that one through. And then we're working on some other compilations, like, I think, well, some of these are going to take a while because we got like 2 years worth of reactions to go through for certain arcs and characters. But Nia Jax won the World Championship. That's awesome.
Here is your winner, and the new WWE Women's World Champion, Nia Jax.
But yeah, I hope the plan sounds good with everybody. We'll sort of, you know, slowly get back into a regular uploading routine, you know, 1 or 2 gaming videos a week. We'll do at least 1 reaction a week, that sort of thing. Because I think that's pretty healthy. So there is that. But Nia Jax is our first ever Women's World Champion. So we got 3 stars. Not a bad way to open up the show. We're going to go through the rest of the card. We're going to see how everybody did. And then we're going to go ahead, book next week's episode. And then that way, when we get to next week, or the next episode, which probably should be next week, we'll just jump right into a match and just have a good time. So I think that's pretty good. I think that's a good plan. Alrighty, people, look at that. Look at that. We did pretty good for the first week. We kept up pretty well with the other shows. So we have Becky and Nia with their feud. We have Seth and Miz starting a feud right there, which is exciting to see. Got to have some variety in there. We have Gigi Dolan defeating Kairi Sane right there in the middle of the card. Just had to come up with a match right there in the middle. We've got Post Malone and Bronson Reed feuding for the United States Championship. But Bronson Reed's our U.S. champion, which is very exciting. And Randy Orton and Roman Reigns have a feud, and Randy's our current world champion, which is very exciting. So I think we're off to a good start. Alrighty, here we go. Raw's the show to watch. Beautiful, love to see it. Everyone's kind of excited just to see just, you know, the different title matches and all that, which is great. So obviously we should have had like rule breakers, and you know, we should have had another babyface in there, right, for that one triple threat match, but it is what it is. We got 40,000 people, and look at all that money that we're getting, which is exciting. We're building up some monies to build our roster out and afford nice things. Go team! Okay, NXT got 43, so we're keeping up with NXT. That's always good. ECW got... Okay, yeah, I was going to say they clearly got a fan bonus somewhere. Promo fan bonus. Oh, no. Oh, ECW. Well, hey, we're keeping up with the other three shows, and that's what counts. We're trying. Alrighty, so that's the current lineup. Okay, look at that. I think we've got, look at everybody's champions. Look at us in last place. But Kevin Owens is ECW's champion. Finn and Rhea are SmackDown's champions. AJ and Charlotte are NXT champions. And then we have Randy and Nia as our Raw champions. So, I mean, I think, like, just looking at the screen, I think, like, we've got a nice little sampler platter of just, who our world champions are, which is great. Alrighty. Week 2. Oh, seriously, Regal? Sir, we don't even have any logistics. What are you going on about? You like that sabotage? That was all me. Strategy. Yeah, seriously, you gotta do what you gotta do. I'll get my payback one of these days. Psh, we'll see about that. Like, we don't have any of these. Like, I mean, we can afford them, but it doesn't mean that we should buy them right now, right? Alrighty, have your most popular available male and male face and bad guy go against each other. Cool. And then we'll get the pre-match physio. Perfect. So we're not going to get any people anytime soon. We need the money for that first premium live event, to be completely honest. But we'll go ahead and book the show. I'll go over the matches going into next week's episode, and we'll pick one of the matches that's on the card, and we'll watch it right out of the gate and just have a good time. And then we'll cover weeks 3 and 4, and then set up the PLE. So I think that's a good game plan for next time. Alrighty, I think we got a decent little card for the next episode. So we've got Seth versus Miz to kick things off. They've got a little rivalry going on there, so that makes sense. And they're two of our top stars. Becky versus Nia with a little call-out promo. Another call-out promo over here with Post Malone and Bronson Reed. And then Noam Dar's got a self-promo over here. Then we've also got the women's tag team titles that will be decided over here. We got Kyrie and JC versus Gigi and Thea. I think that makes sense. And then Trick versus Bronson Reed. Again, kind of self-explanatory. We're still continuing the feud up here with Post Malone. So, I mean, just getting a fresh little match on the card. Got to keep things moving along pretty decently. And then in the main event, we've got Randy versus Roman, non-title match. We met the commissioner goal because of this, because we needed the top bad guy and the top good guy to fight each other. But yeah, that pretty much wraps things up for this video. So let me know what y'all thought about this episode down in the comments down below. Leave a like, leave a comment, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell button to get notifications around here, and that sort of thing. Again, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Thanks for being patient, by the way. I know it's been a minute since we've had a 2K24 video out in any shape or form, so, I mean, there's that. I mean, I'm hopefully this is the DLC that's gotten me back into the gaming videos for a little bit. But either way around, thank y'all so much for tuning in, and I will see you all in the next one.